Moved by Councillor Rolla, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that Council acknowledges that we are meeting in the Robinson Superior Treaty area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbours, the communities of Bidagон, Anishinaabe, and Pickmover First Nations. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in this region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? I'll call the meeting to order and ask clerk to...
There are 3 additions to the agenda.
3.
Addition to closed session 1504, section 239(2)B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Correspondent from constituent update. 2. Addition to closed session 1505, section 239(2)B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Complaint from constituent update. Addition to bylaws, section 1305, being a bylaw to appoint a chief building official.
Thank you. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. We'll move the approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Rolla. Resolved that the agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? There are no delegations or presentations. We'll move by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that the minutes of the special meeting held on March 31st, 2022, the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 20th, 2022, and the minutes of the special meeting held on April 21st, 2022 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? No petitions. There's 4 pieces of correspondence. Is there anything that needs to be taken down? Seeing none. Moved by Councillor Hudson, second by Councillor Rolla. Resolved that correspondence items number 08-01 to 08-04 be received and filed. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that the minutes of the meeting of the Manitowoc's Public Library Board held March 7th, 2022 be accepted as received. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Rolla, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report, FD, Monthly Report 2022-03, submitted by Don Kruger, the Fire Chief, regarding the Fire Department Monthly Report, April 2022.
Excuse me, through the chair, sorry. We missed agenda item 11, rural update by CAO.
Ooh. Okay, sorry about that. We'll do that one.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, I have many updates, so
Okay.
I'm glad that we were able to go back. First off, I'd like to point out a new piece of artwork in council chambers. So on the back wall, there is a lovely piece of wood intarsia artwork that was created and donated by Councillor Dave Arola. And
good job, Dave.
Yeah,
Very nice.
It is very nice, and I was able to give Dave a template in which to use. But Dave, would you like to tell them what kind of wood you used?
Well, there's actually 8 different kinds of wood. The dark M is rosewood from India. The mountain peaks are poplar. The reddish letters in the trees are padauk from Africa. And there's a smattering of Purple Heart. And the writing on the very bottom, you can't see so much, but anyway, that's poplar struck by lightning. On, what's the background? That is oak, I believe, from here. It's been a while. Anyway, that's pretty much it.
That's very cool.
Thank you so much. It's a very lovely addition to council chambers.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your time and energy in doing that. Last night, the mayor and I traveled to Marathon and met with staff from Barrick. We had dinner with them. In January, Barrick appointed Christine Keener as the Chief Operating Officer for Barrick in North America. And we were pleased to be able to have dinner with her and hear about her career experience and all the knowledge that she's bringing to her new position with Barrick. And she spent the week actually at the mine last week, went home to Knoxville, Tennessee, and then hopped on a plane and came back for more meetings with the Director of HR for North America also was there. So it was a real pleasure to meet with her, the mayor from Marathon, Rick Dumas, and other Barrick staff were also in attendance. So it was a great opportunity. The week before, Councillor Moffat, the mayor, and I traveled to Fort Frances to attend the NOMA meetings. Councillor Hudson was not able to attend in person, but she did attend online, and we appreciate that. We did hear from a number of delegates. I think the most interesting was, getting an update from the Nuclear Waste Management Organization on their transportation plan. Also hearing from the Ontario forest industry about up-and-coming bio projects to support the forestry sector. And hearing from Hydro One, about their transmission line projects in northwestern Ontario. Councillor Moffat was able to advocate for more EV chargers in northern Ontario, specifically Manitowoc, and we also appreciate that very much. From staffing and in follow-up to the mayor's delegation at OGRA, Darren McKenzie and I met with the MTO last Friday to get a further update on the work to take place at the rest stop at the Highway of 17 and 614. So the MTO is going to be relocating the entrance to the rest stop in order to accommodate larger truck traffic and RV trailer traffic. So they will create 10 large parking spots. And that means they have to have a greater distance from the intersection. So they will be moving the entrance this summer. They will be doing paving work out there, but it likely won't be done until next year. We are working with them on updating the township's displays for Play in the Extreme, and they will construct a larger bus shelter, and we will have the displays located in there, so it will have a smaller footprint, but anyone that is sitting in the shelter will have an ample opportunity to read all about Manitowoc. They will put in the infrastructure for an EV charging station and get that ready, and that will help us in the coming months to be able to secure funding to actually install it. They will also enhance the picnic area that's currently there, and they will work with us around the work that the township is able to do and what they will have to contract out. So it is definitely a great partnership, and even better that they're covering all the costs.
Through the chair, just a couple questions on that.
Yeah.
Where exactly are they moving the entrance to? Just farther back from where it is on 614?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be before the Bell building.
Oh,
Yeah, it's quite far back.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
An update from the clerk's office. So the 2022 municipal and school board elections are now open. The nomination period is from May 2nd to August 19th. Nomination packages are available at the township office, and nomination forms may be submitted in person or by an agent during regular business hours and on August 19th between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Also, a reminder to check if you are registered on the voters list, and you can do that by going to voterlookup.ca or by contacting the municipal office. Lots of updates from the recreation department. So the golf course staff are working on getting the course up and running. And a reminder to residents that the golf course is not open yet, and to please refrain from golfing until it's ready. The winter has been especially hard. The long winter has been especially hard on the golf course and the greens, and staff are working hard to get the golf course in shape and open. We will advertise on the website when the golf course is ready. Steve Woods, a longtime greenskeeper for the Township of Manitouwadge, has announced his retirement, and we'd like to thank him for his many years of service and the hard work and dedication over the last 27 years, and wish him a wonderful retirement. He certainly will be missed. We have several great summer employment opportunities for students that are currently open, and all that information is available on our website. The Community Services Department has arranged for Fernandez, the hypnotist, to be available for entertainment at the Back Nine Clubhouse, which is the Clubhouse restaurant. And that's taking place on June 11th. Tickets are $15 and available for purchase at the town office. There is age of majority required, so those 19 years of age or over. Youth soccer is back, and registration forms have been sent to the school and also are available at town office. The forms are due on May 19th at 4 p.m., and the township is still looking for coaches for soccer. The Community Better Challenge is back in Manitouwadge for the month of June, from June 1st to the 30th, and we encourage everyone to download the Participation app and log their activity minutes for the month of June. We will have several community events happening throughout the month to encourage residents to get active and help Manitouwadge be crowned Canada's most active community and win $100,000. This event was a huge success last year, and we look forward to being able to come together as a community in person this year. A fundraising opportunity is that we're looking for nonprofit groups to host the Canada Day barbecue. And please contact the Community Services Department if you are interested in putting that on. We're also working with the Public Works Department on the removal and replacement of the playground equipment at Barnett Park in the coming weeks. And from Public Works, we have a new Public Works Supervisor. Tyler Brewster was hired and started this week. We're very excited by that. And also an update from the bylaw enforcement officer. And drum roll, please. Jolene's going to show you. Very exciting new development. So both the fire department and bylaw enforcement have used our municipal logo and have new badges created. And so this is the municipal law enforcement officer badge. Or is it an epaulet?
No, it's shoulder flashing.
Shoulder flashing. That's now available, or will be available.
Pardon me?
It will be available.
Yeah, within 2 weeks.
Very good. I think that's it.
And that's it. Very good, thank you.
Through the chair, I actually, sorry, to go back to this, I forgot the second question earlier. So The mining equipment is going to be moved. Do we have a timeline on when that is going to be moved?
So we've worked with the MTO. Initially, when we first started talking about this project, they wanted us to take it off-site because the site was too small to work with and have those displays there. But in our conversation with them on Friday, they are stating that we can keep it there. They will give us a site plan, and then we can determine what the best location is. And so that also gives us an opportunity to create some new informational panels to be displayed with the equipment so that people can better understand its history and what it was used for.
Okay. Is it going to be, like, because a couple of the pieces are looking like they're in need of a bit of a repaint?
Yes. So I was out there on the weekend and having a look to see what exactly will be required.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, back to the entrance, because you caught me a little off guard where you said it was
Okay.
going to be. Are they going to leave the original entrance or close that up and it's only going to be one in and out?
It'll be closed.
Okay.
So they don't want the
want-
traffic coming out that close to Highway 17,
Okay.
especially large truck traffic.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that council is in receipt of Administration Report, FD Monthly Report 2022-03, submitted by Don Kruger, Fire Chief, regarding the Fire Department Monthly Report, April 2022 and further.
Through the chair, I don't have really much to add to my report, other than that I think at the bottom I had mentioned about attending the OAFC conference last week. I did attend the conference, and I was actually able to have a meeting with the acting fire marshal and one of the deputy fire marshals, and they were quite happy to hear that things are improving and that the fire department is hiring new members and retaining numbers. So other than that, I don't have anything to add unless there's questions.
Through the chair, so I was just actually speaking with one of your firefighters today, and so there's going to be training available in Marathon?
Yes, so Marathon is one of the RTCs, or the regional training centers, that the province opened up after the closure of the fire college. And so we have a number of firefighters that will be attending the Marathon Regional Training Center to complete the Firefighter 1 certification training.
That's wonderful. It's good that it's so close.
Yes, and I will be assisting with teaching at the Regional Training Center as well going forward. So
Nice. Thank you.
yes.
And further, that council receives the Fire Chief's monthly report as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Moffat. Resolved that council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-23, submitted by Jolene Keogh, Clerk, Planning Administrator, regarding council remuneration 2022-2026 and further.
Thank you, through the chair. So as in the report before you, a review of bylaw 2010-14 needs to be done during this term of council. It's usually required 6 months before the end of term. The last time that the bylaw was reviewed for council's remuneration was in 2018, and there was no changes made at that time. So if council were to decide to make any changes to the amounts that council receive, it wouldn't be in effect until the following term, the next term of council, so for a new council. And so it's before you for consideration if council wanted to make any changes.
Through the chair, I mean, looking at the numbers of the other communities, I think it's only fair that we go up at least the cost of living percentage. I think. Was there a community that already mentioned how much they were?
Yes, the City of Thunder Bay increased their remuneration by 2.35% this past week. When we look at that, it's about $100 more annually at 2%. I did put a few numbers together for your consideration.
Okay.
So a 21% increase would bring the mayor's annual stipend up to $9,920, and council's would be $6,231. At 44%, the mayor would be $11,865, and council would be $7,416. And at 50%, the mayor would be $12,360, and council $7,725.
That makes more sense than the 2%.
Yeah.
Through the chair, we're not deciding this tonight, we're just thinking about it, is that it? Or we're
Oh, is
deciding what to do?
It's generally decided
Okay.
at these meetings.
I'd say 10% across the board. What would that be to the,
So for the mayor, it would bring it up to approximately $9,000, and for council, it would be approximately $5,600.
Or 6,000, somewhere.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that first amount that you gave of the 20%.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, myself as well.
Because we're not here for the money, but still.
Well,
So are you happy
I'm
with it?
comfortable with 10%.
What about the 20, the two of them said?
Not really, I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, we haven't had, there was no increase, I think, since the first year I became mayor was the first, and that was back in 2006, I think was when we set this figure that we have now, 9,000. So I don't think the 20% would be unreasonable, because you're really only talking.
Yeah, because the chair, I'm looking at Marathon. Yes, they've got 50% more population, but they're like 250% higher than what we are. So, and then the same as Wawa. Wawa, same idea. I mean, they're in the ballpark, I guess. But yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. At 20%.
Through the chair, one thing I noticed was the payment for meetings, that was only Manitouwadge that did it. That's my understanding. That's a substantial amount over the course of a year. No other communities paid for meetings.
We have what?
Unless I'm wrong, that's what I saw.
Through the chair, in the research that we conducted with the neighboring municipalities, none of them indicated that they have the $55 meeting stipend.
So considering that, I don't know.
How many meetings do we have a year? 20? 22?
22,
No,
21.
21.
and that's not including any special meetings,
Right.
just basic.
So 21 times 55 equals the difference of $1,100. So it's not a drastic amount. Because I'm definitely comfortable with leaving that alone. That, to me, does not have to go up. Because that's just incentive, basically, to show up at the meetings is what it was originally designed for. And I think that is a good idea to keep there.
And through the chair, like if you look at the Nipigon number, their population's less than ours, and theirs is more than ours. Their dollar value is more than
Yeah,
ours.
way more. Yeah.
So I'm okay with the 20%, because it's still,
It keeps us in the bottom.
yeah, keeps
Bottom
us in the
third.
bottom of it. Like, we're still not where they are, but it keeps us up there because we do have the difference of the $55.
So, just looking at our amounts here. 19, 20, 21. So it was $43,000 total, but that's sorry, 35,000 in remuneration. 36 times 20% equals. Looking at overall for all of us combined, it would be $7,200
More per year.
Yeah, for everybody combined. So I do not think that's unreasonable.
And that would be budgeted in 2023.
Correct.
It wouldn't impact this year's budget.
But yeah, for the next term of council.
So that's my vote.
That's my vote as well.
I'm staying with 10%.
I think I'll go with the 20, so
Okay.
it's passed.
Did you want me to?
Yeah. And further, the council directs staff regarding remuneration for mayor and council for the 2022 to 2026-2026 term of council as follows. Increase mayor and council's base remunerations by 20%. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Roll. Resolved that council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-24 submitted by Florence McLean, the CAO, regarding Next Generation's 911 Authority Service Agreement. And further, that council confirms that the Township of White River is acting on behalf of the Township of Manitowoc and other communities as the main signatory with respect to the Bell Canada Next Generation 911 Authority Service Agreement.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Bell Canada contacted the Township of White River to advise that they were upgrading their 911 system to, they're calling it the Next Generation 911. And so it required an updated service agreement with White River and the participating communities, of which Manitowoc is. And so this report requests council's support in authorizing the mayor and the CAO to enter into an agreement with the Township of White River that they be the lead community on the project, and that the township is aware that the service is being upgraded.
That sounds great. Is through the chair, what is the difference with this Next Generation 911? Is it like, I'm just guessing the upgrades would be if you dial from a cell phone, that it would pinpoint where the caller's calling from?
Well, similar to the upgrade that the township did with our phone system, it's a voice over internet protocol, so it's not landline that it has been, and so the upgrade is that it's all digital at this point.
Okay.
And yes, there will be better tracking that goes with that.
And further, that council authorizes the mayor and the chief administration officer to enter into an agreement confirming that the Township of White River be the main signatory on behalf of the Township of Manitowoc with respects to a service agreement with Bell Canada and Next Generation 911. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-25 submitted by Florence McLean regarding the Community Improvement Plan 2022 program intake, and further that council approves the Community Improvement Program guidelines and the application process as presented.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Council will recall late last fall that staff brought forward a community improvement plan that was part of our community revitalization study, and we hired consultants throughout 2021 to guide us through that process. The Community Improvement Plan is a regulatory document. It's legislated through Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing and also through the Provincial Planning Act that allows municipalities to offer loans and incentives for revitalization efforts, particularly focused on an area that is in requirement or in need of updates or upgrades. And so in order for businesses and residents to apply to participate in the program, we had to create a program with an application form, guidelines, and a contract or a legal agreement to enter into. So this report outlines what that program will look like. As part of the 2022 municipal operating budget, Council did approve setting aside $25,000 from the Community Wellbeing Fund to utilize towards this project. So the recommendation is that the focus be on the downtown core. That includes upgrades to facade or the exterior of commercial businesses, as well as new business signs or murals on large walls that face the public or face the street. There are some smaller grants available in terms of waiving building permits that can go along with that depending on the nature of the work that's being proposed. So commercial businesses can apply to the grant to have some of the costs offset through the program. So the report is to request Council's support for the outline of the program itself and the guidelines, as well as to market the program to the community and establishing a Community Improvement Program Review Committee, which would be made up of 3 staff members. The staff members would collect the applications, review them and ensure that they are complete, work with the proponent for additional information if it's required, and then forward the information to Council with recommendations on the projects, and it is Council who determines who can benefit from the program. And then lastly, that staff bring forward a report to Council in July with the applications and recommendations.
Questions? Okay. And further, the Council directs staff to immediately market the program to local residents and businesses with a minimum application intake period of 2 months. And further, the Council directs staff to establish a Community Improvement Program Review Committee to review incoming applicants and further applications, and further that Council directs staff to bring forward a report for Council's consideration with a list of recommendations projects at the July 20th, 22 Council meeting. All in favor? Okay. Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-26 submitted by Florence McLean, CAO, regarding a Chief Building Official Service Agreement.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Paul Manzon. Paul is a building inspector in Thunder Bay. He's actually the supervisor of inspections. And after a number of calls looking for someone to be able to assist the township with the services of a chief building official, I was really happy to be introduced to Paul through the CAO in Scriber. So Paul is the CBO for Scriber, Terrace Bay, Atikokan, and a number of all small communities in the Northwest. And he has agreed to work with the Township of Manitowoc and with boots on the ground from Darren McKenzie as the building inspector to be able to provide CBO services for the Township of Manitowoc for the remainder of this year. And with Council's support, we would like to be able to pass a bylaw tonight appointing Paul as the CBO for the township.
Any questions?
Through the chair, Kate, you said for the remainder of this calendar year?
Yes.
Okay. And when residents want to apply for a building permit, they just come into the office here, like they did in the past, and apply for it, and Karen will be the one to go inspect visually and then pass on the information. Is that how it's going to work?
Right. So the process will be that we actually do have a number of permit applications received already. So these will be forwarded to Darren, who will sort through them and then contact Paul to discuss them. Paul will provide guidance and advice to Darren, and Darren would be the boots on the ground, relaying information back to Paul, who would be able to assist the township with the duties of the CBO. Paul, did you want to add anything to that?
No, that about sums it up. Pretty straightforward. Virtual inspections are permitted by the building code. So, if there's a problem, I can look at photos. Worst case scenario, of course, is driving up there if necessary. But I feel that your director, Mackenzie, and CEO McLean have got this in hand, and I think we'll do all right.
Perfect.
Okay, so you would do the sign-off on the paperwork eventually?
Well, yes, absolutely. So as part of the application process, the application would be emailed to me, and I would review it for code compliance, and I'll share that information with Director McKenzie, and issue the permit. I would issue the permit.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's about all.
Okay.
And then I'm sorry, and then the members of the public would call your town hall for inspections and arrange it that way.
Okay. Through the chair. Just for curiosity, as when people come in to apply for a permit, what would be the average turnaround time before it is approved if all is in order?
Right. So if compliance with the zoning bylaw is there and all the paperwork, like if it's a complete application, no more than, we always tell people no more than like 2 weeks, but it'll be quicker than that.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you. And further, that council appoints Mr. Paul Manzon as the chief building official for the township of Manitowoc. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome to stay on and listen to more fun.
Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Roll. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-27 submitted by Florence McLean, CAO, regarding a land lease for the keeping of horses, and further that Council approves the terms and conditions of the lease of the municipal land for the keeping of horses.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Staff from the township have been working with Mrs. Pelesny for approximately 18 months to find a suitable location for her to keep her horses. And we've looked at a number of properties and then circled back and looked at the same properties all over again. But we're happy to say that through the official plan update and the zoning bylaw update, that we were able to start to look at properties in a different light. So this property in reference tonight is the vacant land next to the ITEC building on the Industrial Road, and it is a former landfill site that was informally decommissioned and was remediated, and then it was leased to other parties for the keeping of horses, both in 1998 and again in 2002. The property the value of the property and the taxes associated with the property are affordable for Ms. Pelesny. And with council's support, we would recommend that this be the site that be allocated for this purpose.
Just through the chair, just for clarification, you said the value and the taxes.
Yes,
That sounds like it's a purchase, or is it a lease?
it is a lease, but the lease rate would cover the taxes that would be associated with the property, more than cover.
Okay.
Okay. And further, that council authorized the mayor and the CAO to enter into a lease agreement with Judy Polensky for the keeping of the horses. All in favor? Okay. Moved by Councillor Hudson, second by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-28 submitted by Florence McLean, CAO, regarding Personal Policy Number 2022-47, Travel Expenses Update, and further, the council approves the review of Personnel Policy 2021, approves the revision of Personnel Policy 2021-47, Travel Expenses Update, to amend the mileage rate to 61 cents per kilometer for staff.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. So staff have brought forward this report as an update to the travel expenses and the mileage rate due to the ever-increasing cost of fuel. So we did go back to the Canada Revenue Agency allowable expenses for mileage and saw that in 2021, Canada Revenue Agency was approving 59 cents per kilometer, and now in 2022 is approving 61 cents per kilometer as an acceptable mileage rate. So this report asks to update both the staff travel policy as well as council's travel policy to change that mileage rate to 61 cents per kilometer. And then also that we will annually review this to see if there's any adjustments required either up or down based on the information from the Canada Revenue Agency.
Very fair.
Through the chair. So in that bylaws, we're just strictly discussing the travel rate? That's it?
That's it, unless there is any other areas that you'd wish to discuss.
Yes, there is actually. So there's a couple of things. So for the meals, like again, as Councillor Moffat alluded to earlier, the cost of living, everything has gone up. Breakfast and lunch seem to be still somewhat reasonable, but I think dinner should go up a little bit because it's $30 above the French River and I believe it's 60 below. And I know it does not cover alcohol, but even if you have an appetizer or a dessert with your meal, and in all reality, $30 isn't going to cover that. And below the French River, it's definitely not going to cover it under the $60. So I'm proposing possibly a $5 to $10 increase on each of those. Not the breakfast and lunch, but just the dinner part of it.
I would have to agree with Councillor Hudson. To me, I think they should all go up accordingly because, yeah, I did a couple trips to Fort Francis.
Yeah.
The meals were wild.
Really?
Yes, where we ate. I mean,
Yes.
Great meals, mind you, but, yeah, let's say that didn't cover it. But, no, that's fine. I think
I would be
fair.
amenable to
Yeah.
something across the board on all of them as well.
Through you, Mr. Chair. So I did look at the allowable meal allowances through the Canada Revenue Agency. And for breakfast, they allow $21.90, $22.15 for lunch, and $54.40 for dinner. And that was for all provinces. Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut are higher, but for the rest of the provinces, that's the allowable expense. So council could look at, instead of having a Northwestern or Northern Ontario rate and a Southern Ontario rate, just have one rate that includes that amount, if that's satisfied. It is a little bit lower for the Southern Ontario rate that's currently in the bylaw. Right now in Southern Ontario, lunch is $40 in our policy, but in the Canada Revenue Agency is $22.15. Yeah.
Through the chair, I'm kind of not comfortable with that because now you're taking away, I would rather keep it separated because the reality is it is different between the two places.
I agree.
So you're recommending we change the one for Northern Ontario, but leave Southern Ontario alone?
As I said, my original thought was just dinner, but I'm okay if it's to change them all. But definitely for Southern Ontario, I think you could still do breakfast for 30 and lunch for 40, but 60 wouldn't cover dinner. I haven't been in Southern, well, there a couple of years ago, but
You're right, it doesn't.
Toronto was traumatic enough, I don't.
Through the chair, if we went up $5 for lunch and breakfast and 10 for dinner, right across, would that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense to me.
Okay, so for Northern Ontario, breakfast would be, instead of $15, it would be $20. Lunch, instead of $20, would be $25. And supper, instead of 30, would be $35.
40.
40?
5, and 10. Is
5, and
Yes.
10?
suggested.
And then in Southern Ontario, breakfast instead of 30 would be 35. Lunch instead of 40 would be 45. And supper instead of 60 would be 70.
Correct.
Okay. So we would need council to amend the motion, right?
Through the chair, when we pass the bylaw and the resolution, we can put as amended.
Okay.
Is that, everybody comfortable with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I have something else as well. When you go farther down into the bylaw, when it's referring specifically to the employees, it says clerk or CAO, clerk, treasurer, or designate. Because at the time when this was amended, that was the title of your position, but now it is separate, and I feel like that should be reflected in the bylaw as separated. As
Thank you
it's
for
now.
catching that. Yes, we will.
As it is now different positions held by different people. And through the chair, one more thing, just, sorry.
That's good.
Go for it, Kath.
Yes.
Where it states your mileage, like it tells you how far, like from here to Hornpain, Sault Ste. Marie, all that. And then beyond those designated places it says, any municipalities not listed shall be paid the kilometer distances indicated on the Ontario road map. Given this day and age, maybe we could possibly change that to either completely replace it with Google Maps or have it as also Google Maps, because Google Maps will give you an exact, and I'm sure there's a lot of people these days that don't even know how to use a map.
Good point.
But Google Maps would give you the exact kilometer from here to wherever it is you're going. So just change that particular
Yeah.
word from
Yeah.
Ontario road map to Google Maps.
I'd say good point, because I think some of these kilometers are a little off. And if we reflected them as per Google Maps, that would be perfect, whether they're up or down. It's accurate.
Yeah. I promise I'm done now.
Okay. And further, the council passes bylaw number 2022-24, being a bylaw to establish policies regarding travel and the payment of expenses for mayor and council, and further, as amended, and that council repeals bylaw number 2016-04, being a bylaw to establish policies regarding travel and the payment of expenses for mayor, council, and employees. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Arola, seconded by Councillor Hudson, being a bylaw to delegate authority to the Chief Administration Officer for restricted acts after nomination day and election day be read a first and second time.
Through the chair, at the last council meeting, April 20th, we brought forward a report for council's consideration, and council approved delegating the CAO to enact certain restricted acts within the municipal act on council's behalf during restricted periods, also known as lame duck, and this is the bylaw to appoint the CAO.
Okay? And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-23. All in favor? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Arola, Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Arola, being a bylaw to provide for travel policies and the payment of expenses for members of council to the municipality be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-24. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson, being a bylaw to provide for the adoption of tax rates and further provide for penalty and interest of default of payment thereof for 2022 be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-25. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Arola, being a bylaw to set the 2022 transition ratio and set rate reductions for prescribed property subclasses be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-26. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Arola. Resolved that being a bylaw to appoint a chief building official be read a first and second time, and further be read a third time and passed as numbered bylaw number 2022-23. All in favor? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat.
Through the chair, I'm sorry. We do have a notice of motion that needs to be read into.
Oh, okay, yes.
Sorry. Moved by Councillor Arola, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that council is in receipt of a notice of motion dated May 6, 2022, as submitted by Councillor Arola regarding the Manitowoc Skateboard Park, and further that council directs staff to prepare a report to council regarding the completion of landscaping at the Manitowoc Skateboard Park at the May 25th, 2022 council meeting.
All in favor?
Just need to amend that resolution. This one here, just to include the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Whereas Section 239(4) of the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001 C25, provides that before holding a meeting or part of a meeting that is to be closed to the public, a municipality or local board or committee of either of them shall state by resolution the fact of the holding of the closed meeting and the general nature of the matter to be considered at the closed meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that this meeting is hereby declared to be closed to the public as the subject matter being discussed falls under the following sections. Section 239-2B, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, staff retirement. Section 239-2C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipal or local board, land disposition. 3. Section 239-2B, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, staff matters. Section 239-2B, correspondence by constituent update. Section 239-2B, complaint from constituent update. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
We'll talk